up, kids?
Get ready.
2023. It is officially what, January something, January 6th, something like that. And the year is off to a resolutions. And people say, okay, I think maybe now we can hear me. Sorry if there was a glitch. Welcome to 2023. I'm super glad to be here with you guys today. And we're going to be talking about how to get the new year off started correctly and how to make sure that you can create goals and stick to those goals over the course of the next year. Now, in the world of, New Year's resolutions, people, it's pretty common for people to make a goal or set a resolution and then have that resolution work for 30 days. And then all of a sudden, at a certain point, they're just like, they're done with it. They tried, whatever. I'm off to it. They go back to their old habits. This is very common in the world of habit change because habits can be pretty challenging to change. So here's what I want to know from you guys. What are some of the new habits that you are trying to create this year? Okay, because what I want is I want this year to be different. I want this year to be not the year that you tried to make new habits, but the year that you actually did make new habits and they stuck. Okay, a lot of the things that people try and do is they try and bite off way more than they can chew, and that's really kind of a pain in the butt. So we want to make habits that are reasonable, habits that are actually doable, and habits that you can develop over the course of time. So in the chat box, I want to know, what single habit, just one, what habit would you like to make this year? Go. I want to see them all. Okay, and maybe as these comments roll in, I'll tell you one habit that I'm trying to make this year is I'm trying to waste less time. Sometimes I find myself, I don't know, with like an extra half an hour, an extra hour, and I just kind of futz it away. And sometimes it can be like, whatever, it's nice and relaxing. But when I do that, I end up getting a little crunched at the end of the day. And I'm just like, man, if I'd only capitalized on that hour that I had earlier, I could have, been in a different place. So I'm trying to waste less time and be a little bit more efficient in the things that I do. And that's something that I'm very conscious of on a daily basis. Okay. Cheryl says positive thinking. Tyra says, stop eating dairy cheese. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Betty says, better mental health after the sudden death of my grandson. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that, Betty. That does not sound fun. Jay Linda says, stop grazing all day. That's a very good one. Okay. Jolyn says, consistent exercise besides walking. Smart. I like it. Emma says, more exercise. That is fun. Nice work. Like I said, as you can see, I just got out of my gym class, which is super fun. Kathleen, reduce nighttime eating, snacking instead of a regular meal. That's a good one. That's a very powerful one. Bettina, healthy eating. I want more specific, Bettina. The term healthy is too vague. I want you to be more specific with me. Delphine, learn more about my inner self. Good. Be more specific. Tell me exactly what that means. Janet says consistent sleep hours. That's good. Janet, how many hours a night are you looking for? James, be more active even though my job is active. Very good. Okay, be more consciously active, I would say. Nancy, sugar addiction. You want a sugar addiction or you don't want a sugar addiction? Be more specific. Tell me. What is it about the sugar addiction that you're trying to get rid of? Art says no more shots. I'm assuming that means insulin shots, if I'm not mistaken. Marcy says being more consistent. These are good. Karen says stick to diet. Karen, I need more information. What kind of diet? Is it a diet? Is it a lifestyle? There's a big difference. James says get more sleep. Be more specific, James. Tell me exactly how many hours of sleep you're looking for. Deb, focus on important things. Okay, that's very good too. I like that one. Kelly says get A1C under control. Kelly, be more specific. What is the number you're aiming for? What are you at and what are you aiming for? Okay, we'll do two more. Allison says reduce sugar consumption. That seems to be a theme. And then the last one is Sandy. She says go to bed earlier. Okay, so I'm seeing some themes here. I see sleep is an important theme, exercise is an important theme, and diet is an important thing. Surprise, surprise. And then there's also a fourth one about mental health and being more cognizant of one's inner self and being more at peace. Okay, so let's tackle each one of those separately. Okay, the first one, let's talk about mental health. Okay, the last couple of years since 2020, since the pandemic hit, it's been pretty rough. It's been pretty rough for a lot of people. Okay, the pandemic hit, all of a sudden you had to be indoors. You couldn't really interact with people. You had to be quarantined. You had to isolate yourself. I get it. The pandemic's over, but a lot of the habits that started during the pandemic of isolating yourselves from other people, uh, it's rough. I mean, there's the in the world of psychiatry and psychology, there have been a lot of people who have sort of checked themselves in to go get mental health help in 2020, 2021, and it continues. And then also people have reported back to us that their level of anxiety and or depression has increased significantly since the pandemic. So we're technically not in a pandemic anymore, which is awesome because the pandemic kind of sucked in 1,000 different ways. But some of the mental health, habits that started back then could still be around. Okay. So in the chat box, just give me a yes. Just write the word yes if you feel like you could work a little bit more on your mental health, right? And when I mean mental health, I mean number one, doing things more mindfully, right? Number one, adopting a mindful practice in some way, shape, or form, whether that's just like 5 minutes of meditation here and there, whether it's consciously reducing your level of anxiety if you find that you're conscious of it, and or number three, seeking help for things like anxiety and or depression. If you feel like you want to work on that, please write the word yes in the chat box. Okay. I know personally that during the pandemic, I don't think I developed a mental health problem, but I definitely felt the isolation. I absolutely felt it. Part of the reason, if you guys probably didn't know this already, I'm an extrovert. I like to hang out with people. I like to be social. I like to have conversations. I like to get together for dinner parties. I like to go exercise with people. Surprise, surprise. I'm a pretty extroverted person in general. So if you take an extrovert and you force an extrovert to not interact with people, you get frustration. Okay. So as a result of that, I could definitely feel that myself. And once we had the green light to go and start interacting with people, it started to make a big difference. Okay. So for those of you who are writing yes, I see there's actually a lot of yeses in the chat box. Okay. I want you to think about one simple thing that you can do on a daily basis. Okay. It's very important when you're making habits to be number one, to be aware, to be observant and aware of the new habit that you're trying to create, and kind of like beat yourself over the head every day. Like, don't forget, 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 don't forget. Okay. And secondarily, to practice it on a daily basis or multiple times per day basis, because developing habits can be a very laborious process. So frequency is just one of those things that will eventually turn something that feels uncomfortable into something that feels very natural, and you won't even think about it anymore. Okay. So when it comes to mental health, give me some more insight here. What is it that you're trying to accomplish that would make a significant impact to your daily life? Is it, a 5-minute meditation? Is it a 30-minute meditation? Is it literally just sitting in a room staring at a wall and trying to breathe? Is it reducing your level of anxiety that comes up from work situations? Give me some more insights in the chat box as to what you're trying to create, because a little bit goes a long way. A little tiny, making atomic habits, as James Clear likes to say, takes a ship and moves it just a tiny little direction that can go make a significant deviation over the course of time. Okay, Cheryl says calm breathing. Good. That's a really good one. It's very powerful. Kristen says meditation, sorry, for sure. Very good. Okay, set aside time to alleviate stress. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I definitely could work on that myself. Sandra says walking. Good. Walking is a form of meditation. I like that a lot. That's good. It kills two birds, because then you can actually get some exercise too. Deb says less overwhelmed by relaxing. Okay, these are all very, very, very good things. Bonnie says read the Bible. That's great. If that's relaxing to you, by all means do it. Okay. Emma says financial problems have me very anxious. Yes, financial problems can be very anxiety producing. So getting a grip on your finances can make a massive difference. Glenn, hiking. I love that. Hiking is such an awesome form of meditation. James says go to the gym. Good. Going to the gym is something that can make a massive difference. Tyra, be mindful of my food while I'm eating. Yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. Kathleen, prayer and decree powerful scriptures. Good. Okay. Now, when it comes to mental health, remember, daily, daily, daily. Here's what I want you guys to do. For those of you that are commenting on the chat box, those of you who want to make a mental health change, Find a piece of paper and a pen right now and go write it down. I want you to write down one thing that you're going to start practicing every single day. It could literally be more mindful when I'm eating, eat my food slower, practice meditation for 5 minutes per day. Whatever you wrote on the chat screen right there, I want you to write that down on a piece of paper, and I want you to stick that piece of paper in a place that's visible that you can see every single day. Okay? Do it right now. The next thing I want to talk about here is exercise. Exercise is also important. So as you can see, I'm literally sitting in my car right now. I just got out of my exercise class. I'm dripping with sweat. It's all over me. Okay. I exercise on a daily basis because I love it. Exercise is a form of meditation to me, but it's also just pure fun. I love it. Ever since I was a little kid, I developed this obsession with wanting to move my body because it just made me feel alive. You know, that feeling when you feel your heart beating really quickly, you know, it can be pretty uncomfortable and you're breathing heavily and you're just like, oh God, and you're starting to sweat. Okay. For whatever reason, I love that feeling. I love it because it just makes me feel like I'm just, yeah, this is it. This is it. You know, it just feels so good. And so that started at a young age. And that's something that I've kept consistent in my life. And I'm 42 years old now. And on a yearly basis, right, there's 365 days in a year. I exercise conservatively 320 of those 365 days. And sometimes I exercise multiple times per day just because why not, right? So for me, it's a job. For me, it's fun. For me, it's exciting, okay? There are tremendous benefits that come along with exercise. From the insulin sensitivity side of things, exercise is a substitute for insulin, whether you inject it from the outside world or whether your pancreas makes it. Exercise reduces your insulin need. That's a good thing. Exercise enables your carbohydrate tolerance to increase. That's a good thing. Exercise helps with mental health, just like we were talking about earlier, okay? When you exercise, it actually helps stimulate the production of dopamine inside of your brain, which can have effects in very specific regions to make you feel calmer, to make you feel happier, and to reduce your anxiety levels. So if you are feeling anxious, just go move your body. The more that you actually move your musculature, the more of a calming effect you are likely to feel in your brain. This is a very important thing. Okay. And another thing that exercise does is, especially as you get older, it preserves muscle mass and or helps you gain muscle mass. And muscle mass is actually very important because preserving muscle mass into your, as you become older is a very important thing that you can do to preserve your longevity, to maximize your longevity. Studies are now showing that people who have, who develop, sarcopenia, which is the wasting of muscle tissue, actually end up dying prematurely. And when you develop strong muscles, not only do you preserve the muscle mass, but you actually develop strong bones because muscles are connected to bones via tendons. And when those bones strengthen, it can reduce your development of osteopenia / osteoporosis. So it has a two-pronged effect. Okay. Tammy says, I've actually been starting my day with exercise, just a short workout, and ending my day again with a short workout. And I've been sleeping great throughout the night. It has really made a huge difference. Good. So you're seeing the difference, or the connection between exercise and sleep. Very powerful. Okay. James, is it better for insulin dependent people with diabetes to do circuit training? Yeah, it depends. It depends. It's a tough question. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Here's what I would say. If you're injecting insulin, many forms of exercise are going to benefit you. You can do pure aerobic exercise, and that will reduce your insulin need. You can do circuit training. You can do high intensity interval training. You can do it all, and it will definitely improve your ability to exercise. The most important thing that the determinant of what type of exercise you should do is how experienced you are at exercise itself. If you're a beginner to exercise and you try and go into circuit training right off the bat, it can become pretty darn challenging right off the bat, and you could injure yourself. So number one, do it under the supervision of a trainer. Absolutely. Do it under the supervision of a trainer in a group exercise class, or hire a trainer to do it one-on-one. Number two, if you're an experienced exerciser and you've been doing this for many years, then doing things like circuit training or high intensity interval training is a perfectly reasonable option. But if you're brand new, what I would say is I would start with a lot lower intensity level and do things that are primarily aerobic. And then over the course of time, you can move into more resistance-based circuit training. I hope that's a helpful answer. Okay. Melissa, take a brisk walk 15, 20 minutes after every meal, 45 to 60 minutes a day. Awesome. Let me take a quick pause here for a second. We have a 7-day challenge at Green. And the 7-day challenge is basically designed to help you develop new habits, especially in the new year. Okay, so if you look on the bottom of the screen, it says www.umlagreen.com/7-day challenge. Go there. Okay, enter your email address, and we're gonna enroll you in a 7-day challenge that's going to give you new tips that you can integrate into your lifestyle over the course of a 7-day period. I know you're not going to make brand new habits in 7 days, and that's fine. That's not the point. But my wife, Kylie Buckner, and I, she's a registered nurse. The two of us filmed a whole bunch of videos while we were in Costa Rica that help you understand exactly how to develop, how to think about developing new habits, and how to make simple changes that can have a profound effect on the way you feel, and it can improve your immune system, and you can significantly improve your quality of life. Now you'll see that there's two buttons. One of them says download your free wellness guide, and another one says download your challenge worksheets. Okay. So if you sign up for the challenge, not only will you get these videos, but you'll also get an opportunity to get a PDF, and you can fill a PDF in as you go along, and you can start to create new habits. So umlagreen.com/7-day challenge. Go there, sign up for the challenge, start doing it, because this is a simple entry into the habit making process. Okay. That's mental health. That's exercise. The next one is diet. Diet's an important one. A lot of you said, I want to kick sugar. Good. A lot of you said, I want to eat healthier. Good. Okay. Now, we've said this 1,000 times over, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again. Okay. In the world of diabetes, most people think that sugar is the problem. Okay. In the world of chronic disease, most people think that sugar is the problem. Okay. I don't want you to eat sugar. Trust me. I don't want you to eat refined carbohydrates. I don't want you to eat refined and processed sugars. I don't want you to eat stuff that you can't pronounce, that you find on the packages in the grocery store. I don't want you to eat that stuff. But what's more important is that you limit your intake of animal foods. Even though the marketing tells you that animal foods are good for you, and saturated fat is good for you, and protein is good for you, trust me when I say the evidence-based research is pretty damn clear at this point that people who eat more animal foods, people who eat more saturated fat, people who eat more animal-based protein end up at a higher risk for many chronic diseases. Their blood glucose goes up, their A1C goes up, their blood pressure goes up, and their cholesterol goes up. So I would prefer if you made the habit to lower your animal food intake. And if you already are there, and or if you're eating zero animal foods, which is my preference, then you start to do the sugar thing. Okay. But I don't want to put words in your mouth. So if sugar is the thing that you want to try and limit or eliminate, that's great. But just please be very conscious of the fact that, number one, animal foods are going to have a more profound effect. And number two, sugar should not be confused with things that taste sweet. So I don't want you to limit your intake of fruits at all in any way, shape, or form. I want you to eat more fruit. I want you to eat more potatoes and more rice and more beans and more whole grains and more legumes. Okay, so just because something tastes sweet like a banana or a mango or a bowl of raisins, I don't want you to think that those are bad for you, because those are actually very powerful disease-fighting foods. It's the refined carbohydrates, the cookies, the crackers, the chips, the pastas, the sodas, the breads, the sugar-sweetened sugar-sweetened beverages. Those bad boys, kick them out of your diet. Those are the ones that you can get rid of. Okay. Michael says reduce all sugar, salt in diet. Good. Whole foods. I like it. John, ultra all natural. Good, John. That's the best gift you could ever give yourself. Kristen, I've tried to cut all animal product, but I'm having the hardest time with meal plans and removing chicken and cheese. Okay, so for those of you who are having a difficult time when it comes to meal plans, we actually developed a weekly meal plan at Mastering Diabetes. Okay, this is a fun thing. This is actually very, very powerful. People love this thing. Okay, I don't know what the actual URL is. Go to masteringdiabetes.org. Okay, masteringdiabetes.org, and click recipes up in the top menu bar. If you click on recipes, you'll see there's a thing called a weekly meal plan. And the weekly meal plan basically gives you a brand new meal plan every single week. And here in this meal plan, it's specifically designed to show you how to reduce your intake of animal foods and how to maximize your intake of plant foods. So as you can see on the screen right here, you go to masteringdiabetes.org, you click on recipes in the very top, and then you get to this page. And if you just click on that green button right there, it says get started, you can learn about this meal plan. So Kristen, my recommendation to you would be go get this meal plan. This literally will teach you how to get rid of chicken and cheese and any refined foods if they are present in your diet. And here you will have an opportunity to get fed, pun intended, new information, new recipes all the time, every single week. We hand you 21 new recipes per week, and there's no question about whether or not there's enough variety and enough inspiration to get you started on this journey towards 100% all natural diet. Highly, 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 highly recommend if you don't already have this thing. Okay. So again, imlegreen.com/7-day challenge, and then go to masteringdiabetes.org/meal plan. And I think it's meal plan-B for some reason. Cool. All right. So that takes care of diet. So we got mental health, we got exercise, we got diet. There was a fourth thing, and the fourth thing was sleep. Sleep. Sleeping is very important. Sleeping is incredibly important. Research shows people who don't sleep very well, okay, let me put it somewhere. You could be sleeping for a long period of time, but if the quality of your sleep is low, you are at risk for premature death. It's pretty clear at this point, okay? Sleep is so important that if you work really hard on maximizing your sleep quantity and quality, it will actually add years to your life. It's a strange concept, but it actually will, okay? So things that you can do to actually maximize your ability to sleep is, number one, just like there was a comment on the screen, I can't remember who it was from, is doing a little bit of exercise before you go to sleep. Okay, I'm not talking about adrenaline producing high intensity exercise. I'm talking about going on a walk. Okay, it could be literally a 20-minute walk in the evening hours that will help prepare your mind for a more meditative state so that you can go to sleep easier. Number two, cut out devices at least 1 hour before you hit the pillow. Okay, if you're on your iPhone, like I am, if you're in front of your television, like I am, cut it. Do something different. Read a book, talk to your spouse, go play with your kids, do something different. Turn off your devices. Number three, take a warm, hot shower. Okay, the Shares have actually shared this with us. If you take a nice hot shower, when you get out of the shower, there's a sudden temperature change from a warm environment to a cool environment. And when you do that, it actually stimulates blood flow up to your brain, and it prepares your brain for a more relaxing state. So warm shower, get out of the warm shower, and within 20, 30 minutes or so, you might find yourself getting a little bit sleepy. It's totally natural. Okay, so I would highly recommend taking advantage of that. It's a very simple thing you can do. Just be in the shower for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you can get that effect. Okay, and then number four, try not to eat any food for about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours before you go to sleep, because if you have active digestive processes that are happening, that can interfere with your neurological function in your brain, and it can interrupt your ability to actually enter a more meditative state. Okay, so turn off your digestive system, which will turn on your brain in preparation for sleep. Make sense? Okay, Michael says, are naps good? There was another question about only sleeping for 5 to 6 hours. What was that one? James, I sleep at least 5 to 6 hours because my work hours fluctuate. Okay, James, I want you to increase that. Okay, 5 to 6 hours, research says is not enough. You need between 7 and 8 hours a night. And if your work hours fluctuate, then try and find another opportunity to get some sleep, even if it's for like an hour in the middle of the day. It's fine. But a total number of close to 7 to 8 hours of sleep is going to go a long way. Michael says, are naps good? Michael, naps are fine. Okay. What you want to do is, when you're taking a nap, you want the nap to be sufficiently long enough, and you need to be quiet and dark so that your brain can actually enter a state of deep sleep and even go into REM sleep. That's the restorative sleep that you're looking for. If the lights are on, if there's a lot of noise and you just happen to be lying down flat, not good enough. I want you to actually go to sleep if you're going to take a nap, not just pretend like you're going to sleep. All right? That's the way to do it. Kristen, something that helped me sleep is eliminating the clocks in my bedroom. I found myself always counting down the hours I had left to sleep. Very good point. Turn off your clocks, put your iPhone in another room, get rid of it. That's a really good point. That way you're it's like you're in a casino. You don't know what time it is, just go. Okay? James, my last food intake ends at about 6:30 p.m. That's great. Good. That way you can prepare for sleep. Okay. So remember, hot shower, get a little bit of movement, stop eating, and then turn off your devices. You can do all four of those things. I know you can do those things. They're not that hard. You just got to be conscious about doing them. When you put them into play, all of a sudden your brain's going to go into a little sleepy zone. And then before you know it, you're going to be doing this number and you're going to be passed out and it's going to feel good. Okay. So again, umlagreen.com/7-day challenge. Go there. This is a simple thing that you can do to start your year off right. Okay. Again, developing habits can be a pain in the butt. I get it. Trust me. I'm well aware. But you got to start somewhere. And if you can be conscious about the decisions you're trying to make and conscious about the habits you're trying to create, you can make a lot of change in a very short period of time. I know you guys got this. You guys got any last minute questions here? Holly says, I want to know how to stay asleep. I'm using a much better CPAP now, so that helps. I limit screen time in the evening and have a blue light filter on my phone, no computer. Okay, good. I want to know how to stay asleep. Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think I know the answer to that question. I really don't. Let me get back to you on that one. I know I've read some strategies about how to stay asleep. I think there's some very important ways that you can do it. I just can't think of what it is off the top of my head. So that's a great question. I'm going to put it on my to-do list of things to read. So I'll get back to you. James says, how many times can you drink Amla Green? I try to do it at least once a day. Good, James. The answer is you can drink it as much as you want. We recommend people drink it a minimum of once a day. There's a lot of people who drink it 2 or 3 times per day, which is fantastic. And so if you can, integrate it 2 or 3 times in your day, there's really no problem with it. So, yeah, don't worry about trying to OD on the green because I've never heard of it. There was another question just before this one. Oh, thank you, Sison, everyone. I have an appointment. Have a blessed weekend. Fantastic. Thank you, Kathleen. Awesome. Belinda, 528 hertz music helps with sleep. There you go. I had no idea. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds, I want to learn about that. That's great. Holly says, thank you. You're welcome, Holly. It's great. So this is the beginning of January. Okay, we're gonna be doing these lives every Friday, and we're really gonna be trying to help you guys out as much as possible. So come back every Friday, same time, same place. Okay, usually starts somewhere about 1 o'clock, between 1 and 1:05 on Friday, 1 to 1:05 Eastern. You know where to find us. We love you guys. We wish you the best, and have a great weekend. Hopefully get some exercise in this weekend. Spend some time in the sun if there is any sun in your region of the world. And we'll catch you next week. Have a good day, guys.